Jake, first team into round 2 of the Challenge Cup, so good effort.
Oh yeah, we are out. Yeah, we're good, mate. Really enjoyable. Been a long day for us. You know, travelling down. Took us 5 hours to get here, but the lads' attitude were amazing, and you know, it was tough when it weren't perfect. You know, a lot of drop ball, but like I said, their attitude were great, and we dug in and we showed a lot of grit to get that win.
So you're always confident this game is going to go ahead with all the others falling by the wayside?
I think some of the boys wanted it to be off, but we knew they played on artificial, so there was always a chance of it being on. Then once they got their head round it, you know, they were committed to what we had to do, and they did it.
Dominated the first half hour, didn't you? And then the sin bin kind of brought them back into it.
Yeah, we did, and that's what we wanted to do coming down here. You know, didn't want to get off that bus and start slow, and we started fast. We did everything but, you know, put a few points on board. But I think the way we started took it out of them in the end. You know, they scrambled well, credit to them. But all that scramble, the effort they put in, they were a bit tired to back end of the game, and that's where we come away with it.
Is coaching something you'd like to do when you finish playing?
I think so. No, I've done it for a long time now in the amateur game. 10 years, you know, I've coached since I was 20. And so yeah, I'm not too sure if I'll carry on after this season for a little bit. I'm not sure if I need a break. But yeah, definitely I'll look to coach when I retire.
And how hard is it to sort of, and this is the last question, but how hard is it to prepare for a game like this when, you know, the RFL are saying there's a limit of contact and you can't, you know, there's a limit of what you can do at training, and then you go straight into the, I'm going to use the term cold, you go into the Challenge Cup cold. We're all pretty cold tonight, but is it difficult?
Yeah, and I don't back it, to be honest. I don't believe, you know, teams as good as Super League should be in the next round. You know, my guys have had 4 sessions leading up to this game, and you know, we're playing Hammersmith, but we're playing Midlands in 2 weeks, is it? And they've had a full season to prep under their belts, and our guys have had 4 sessions, so it's not really good for our people. I believe it's a bit dangerous, you know, going into it, but it is what it is. And you know, a couple of them games have ruined our season before with a few injuries, and it looks like we could have had one then. So for me, it's a bit too early, but it's what we've got to do, innit?
Sorry, tell us about the injury, mate.
It's Christian Ackroyd, his scrum half. You know, got caught in a tackle and then got bent back over his knee. He says he's all right, but we'll have to see how he is next week.
And one of the amateur teams did pull out, didn't they, of the challenge of the round 1 because of what you just mentioned? Yeah,
and you know, reading it rightly so. I was supposed to get a team prepped in 4 sessions. You know, these guys don't get paid, but they're giving our Saturdays up to come down here and just for the love of the game. But when you're playing, you know, teams like Whitfield like we did last year, yeah, it was great for the game, but you know, one of our guys come on and got his head knocked clean off straight away and missed the next game, so it's kind of dangerous for our players, you know, with the limited contact we've got to do as well.
And I've got to allow you to clarify how you think it should work. How should it work?
Well, I also think Super League teams should come in a bit later because these amateur teams won't be making it.
Professional teams.
Yeah. These amateur teams won't be making it that far. Maybe they'll look the bottom of the champ and then the League One's fine. But when you're playing against good champ teams, you know, for these guys it's great, but you know, they also want to keep on the field for the season coming. That's our biggest task, and you know, we've been here before the last couple of years where we just picked up amount of injuries, and that's what it does. But we can't start any sooner as pre-season because it's a long year for these as well. So going in with 4 sessions into these games, it's tough for them.
Yeah, mate. Thanks for coming out. And we're back. We're here at Wigan, and I've got Lee and Byrne here, and it's the second half of the day. And what's it like having all these reporters wandering around your workplace?
No, it's fun. A lot of people knocking about, and it's a bit more of a chilled out day. You know, it gives an opportunity for everyone to speak to journals, etc. And no, it's good to have everyone in, and you know, they can catch a bit of an insight into what we do on a regular day.
Grand final's not that long ago, is it? And you're back into it. I mean, you don't get much of a break, do you?
No, I had about 7-8 weeks and then straight back into it. But no, it comes around quick. But I had some good time off and you know, a nice chilled out time with family and stuff. But yeah, it does come around quick.
Now, Las Vegas, that's got to be on your mind.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. I was speaking to someone about it then. It feels like, you know, last year we had the World Cup Challenge to look forward to at the beginning of the year. Kind of gives you that carrot through pre-season, something to look forward to, and we get us started.
What are you expecting from the week? Has the coach or management spoken to you about the week much yet?
No, we haven't really run through it yet. I'm not even too sure where we're staying or how long we're doing there, but I'm sure we'll get some time to have a bit of downtime, have a bit of fun. But obviously, when we get on that pitch, it's go time.
The fact that it's sort of the third game is a bit different than the Aussies, isn't it? Because it's the opening of their season. Do you put more credence or do you put more emphasis on the result because it's such a big stage?
Yeah, of course. You don't get an opportunity to play in stadiums like that, and in countries such as America and on the big stage in Vegas. So we're putting a big emphasis on the result, and we want to come away with the result. So yeah.
Have you been before to Vegas?
No, I've never been to Vegas. Been to America once, but I look forward to Vegas.
Now, when we see Wigan play in round one in a few weeks, will it be just picking up where you left off, or do you think we'll notice any differences in what you do?
I think what we stand for and the things that we try and get right. We have our basic fundamentals that we will try and stick to, and just make sure that we get better and better at those things. I don't know if there'll be anything new and crazy, but there might be different variations, but I think for us it's about sticking to what we know but just getting better at it.
Now, Liam, before we started recording, I said that we've got some questions coming up, and you said that you don't know a lot of rugby league players. Are you someone who doesn't watch a lot of rugby league, are you?
No, I don't really watch too much NRL or even Super League, to be fair. I don't watch too much of it, so yeah. Have you tried watching a lot and you just didn't enjoy it, or do you find it helps you escape from work and switch off, or is it just you don't find it entertaining? Why not? I mean, if it's on the telly, I'll sit there and I'll watch it a bit, but I'm not in. I don't ever think, I need to get home so I can put this game on or put that game on. I need to see the result of that. Like, I usually come into work a couple of days after and people are talking about results and stuff, and I'm just like, oh really, was that the result? Like, I just don't really watch too much of it, and I think it's probably just, maybe I'm not too amazed by it, and it's a nice way to get away from it as well and put the ball down. So yeah.
So before a match, maybe some of your teammates, for a World Club Challenge, maybe some of your teammates are like, wow, it's Nathan Cleary we're playing against, blah blah blah, and you just don't know anything about him, really.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
Aside from that you tipped in a team meeting.
Yeah, like that's where I try and get most of my information. Like, we watch video early in the week, and we can watch a bit of video on our own, and I'll look at a few players and see what's in their game and things to keep in my mind, and that's about it really. But in terms of trying to find out too much, I try and stay away from that a little bit and just stick to what I need to know, and just get on the pitch and work as hard as I can, really.
But winning is just as much fun as if you knew everything, I guess. What about history? Do you kind of into history as far as the number of comps won or the number blah blah blah, that sort of stuff? I mean, obviously, you look around this room we're in. There's a lot of reminders about history here in Wigan, isn't there?
Yeah, of course. Not that much either. I can remember things from my childhood and players that I watched growing up, and players that I looked up to and admired. So there's people like that and teams that I can roughly remember, but in terms of knowing a lot about history of individual teams and stuff, probably not too much. Same way as that, I don't know that many players as well. So
welcome to Tony the Mole Adams. So now, Tony, on to your column, and you've got a story about a young player who things haven't really worked out very well for him.
The story you're referring to, a young fella called Cowley. He was captain of the Australian schoolboys 2-3 years ago. He was signed to the Broncos. He had an ugly spat with them. They sort of, according to him, didn't fulfil promises, and he gave me this great line which made headlines at the time, that I'll never wear a Broncos jumper, and he stuck to that, and he signed with the Bulldogs. Played 7 first-grade games in 2023, then broke his neck, and there were fears his career was over. He missed the entire last season. but now he reckons he's ready to go again, and he signed with the Redcliffe Dolphins, and he's going to head up there. They've managed a release from the Bulldogs, so he's one to watch. Karl Alapu, a very, very talented half, 5'8", from New Zealand.
And another interesting story you've written, Tony, is about Michael Maguire and coming up to the kickoff of the season, long awaited from the point of view of Broncos fans to see how successful he is at Lang Park.
Michael Maguire is the answer to the Broncos' dilemma, shall we say, of last season. The general consensus on Kevy Walters, great fella, great clubman, but too nice a bloke, and probably too close to the players, went a little bit easy on him. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I know Michael Maguire well, and I think the Broncos are in for a very rude shock. I think he's going to take these players to places they've never been before, and some of them aren't going to like it. But the bottom line is he's going to make them tougher, stronger, fitter, and I see the Broncos definitely rising up the ladder this year. I think Ben Hunt's a great signing. I've actually named him as probably the signing of the season. Those 32 try assists in a pretty ordinary Dragons team last year convinces me that he's still got what it takes, even though plenty of Dragons fans are happy to see the back of him. I think it'd be a really good signing for the Broncos, particularly with Adam Reynolds' injury woes, Ezra Mann's problems. I think he could be a godsend, Ben Hunt.
And finally, the Roosters with a couple of very, very big recruits that their fans will be happy about, Tony.
Yes, Steve. Well, good news for the Roosters. As we know, they've lost a heap of players, and nowhere more than in the forwards, where Terrell May's gone, Satili Tupanua's gone, Jared Wirra-Hargraves is over there somewhere, probably around the corner from you in Hull. And Dylan Napper's retired. So it's a real changing of the guard at the Roosters. But the good news is that they've signed the New South Wales under-19 prop. His name's Fanafu Seve. He's a 19-year-old, expected to play NRL this season even. And on top of that, they've signed his 17-year-old brother, Itula, who captained the Bulldogs' Harold Matthews Cup team last year. They're both front rowers, Samoan heritage, played representative football in the juniors last year and turned a lot of heads. I know the Bulldogs are sad to let him go, but their attitude is, well, you just can't keep them all, and they're signing plenty of players themselves. But they're obviously signings for the future, but it's a transitional time for the Roosters. I reckon they're going to have a bit of a lean year this year, and they're the sort of players who will be first graders in the future, according to anyone who you talk to who's a good judge in rugby league.
Thanks very much.